Welcome guys to another episode of ThreeTings. Today, man, I just really want to touch on like I don't know what to coin this term, but just like confidence, I would call it, that people may have to have around me. But it's nothing to do with actual confidence, but it's just like people do these like sort of sly, not sly, but just things to put people off sometimes. And they've done it to me quite a few times. Yeah, I must say. But I sort of cottoned on sometimes. And all I can do is just give examples on this. So I'm going to speak about that. I'm also going to just thank a few people coming around me, especially females. And also I think I'm going to touch on this week's documentary, Netflix Turning Point, because it struck a chord with me, you know. And it was something I wrote about a little bit, not as in depth as a documentary, but just touched on in my assignment a year and a half ago. So I might as well just speak about it, you know. So yeah, the best thing I can do is give you a few examples of my experiences and encounters sometimes, you know, and just you make what you make of it, you know. But you know, like but we're missing the true purpose of what workflows are sorry, one moment. In the first place. I mean, yeah, like basically I just got these like certain females that I've asked to not follow me around, just like they're just like constantly sort of following me sometimes, and even from a distance, sort of standing in the same places and whatever, you know. And it's like sometimes it gets a bit much for me, you know. And at the same time, like, I appreciate attention, like people like attention, but it's just a lot sometimes, you know. But I'm gonna give you an example. Yeah, like I remember, like I was down sort of central London somewhere, I'm not gonna say where, and this place that I said that this place, like I've not been there too often, and I won't go in there too often, but this particular time I think I saw, I'm not gonna say who they are, you know who they are, a woman I've asked not to follow me around, right? And I think I saw one of them sort of like 50 meters down the road from the venue. Another one was like sort of 100 meters away on the other side of the venue, and then quite a few of them were loitering in and around this place. So to me, it looked quite aggressive in a passive sense, yeah. I wasn't threatened or anything, it just looked quite aggressive, yeah. So seldom, I go in there now and again, but anyway, I went in there. And for the first time in years, I'd seen like sort of a few females, and then I saw quite a really attractive, like 2 or 3 attractive like women from like, don't mean nothing by like from the sort of East Asian area, Southeast Asian area. And I thought, I've not seen you in this place, never. Yeah. And I thought, ain't that funny, like these girls that I've asked to not follow me around, they've crowded the place from the outside, you know. And I thought they did that because you guys were on the inside. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like was kind of like mind trickery, and it was kind of like to try and make me not want to go in, you know. And someone that doesn't know that's happening, that could put them off. That will put off the average person if they're trying to do that, you know. But I kind of cottoned on. That's what they were doing for once, yeah. Like, I'll give you another example. I stayed away from Boots Chemist for quite a while because like I had a sort of like hard time just like with Superdrug and certain antics, yeah, right. So I thought I'll leave Boots alone just to like, if I go in there it's a clean fresh start or whatever, you know, and there's no problems. But anyway, this is another example I'm giving you, yeah. Like I went to like Greenwich one day and I went to go to the Boots, and I saw like an employee, and I'm gonna call it out. She was like, I hate saying the word Muslim. I hate saying it now. You know what? Because like just because somebody's dressed like that doesn't mean they act to the letter of the law regarding their religion. But they're dressed that way. How do I know? Like, you know, this person could be any type of like person. They could be good, bad, we don't know, you know, but they're representing that by what they're wearing, right? So I saw one employee come to the door, I saw another employee come to the door, and I thought that's a little bit aggressive, right? So I thought again, yeah, I thought let me walk in. I walked in, and for the first time in, you might say it's years. People, you might say it's years, right? You will know how long it was, right? Someone will tell you somewhere, yeah? I got served by a female of sort of age, if you know what I mean. But also, like, surprisingly, she had a Jesus cross sign on her necklace. Yeah. And it's like I've not seen something that small, like I've not seen like for a very, very long time, whilst going to different shops in and around London. So I thought to myself, rah, like you acted aggressive outside just in a passive way, but on the inside I went in and there was a girl there serving me just like with a Jesus cross sign. To her it was probably nothing. But this is the kind of blocking that's been going on, you know. That's why. And they also try to do the same thing. Like there's a lady in the goldsmiths in the I call it a tuck shop. That's what we used to call it back in the day, yeah. But you know, like in their little shop. And I knew she was in there with her Jesus Christ sign because like the Muslim girl was standing outside. Yeah, just pretty much like making me feel like I shouldn't go in because I don't want her to follow me, so I'm not going to go in. But I go in and I see her there. So it's like, how many other times has that been done, like where people are like standing outside of places or loitering around places to make me feel like I shouldn't go in? Now, to be honest with you, like, I'm thinking like sometimes I could be sitting down somewhere and these people could be circling where I'm sat down, and that discourages somebody from coming like anywhere near where I am in a natural way. Like they might not even know I'm there, but just the way they're acting outside, you know. And it's to like socially defragment like anyone that sort of comes near me and just like, you know, to like sort of kill the atmosphere, you know. And then today now, man, I got to see it like in movie style format as well, man. Just like, you know, Islington. You know, I'm just walking around and I saw this stall, yeah, and I thought, right, why are these women crowding around this stall? And I'm thinking, I know why. And as I walk across, there's a female of, I would say, Asian descent just serving or whatever. The only one in Islington that day that I've sort of seen or whatever. And they've crowded her. Yeah. Acted like they want to buy her shopping. Right. Or buy what she's selling. Yeah. And I'm looking, I'm thinking, you guys ain't going to buy nothing, are you? Yeah, right. And I go and I sit upstairs and I'm looking down and they're crowding this one girl. Yeah. Right. Not buying anything, looking at everything, but just as a distraction. So someone like me doesn't even say hello to this person or see what they've got or maybe buy something from them. You know? It was a deliberate sort of ploy by 6 or 7, maybe 10 women to circle a woman so that I wouldn't speak to her. Do you know what I mean? They've probably done that 1,000 times over and they'll probably do it again, you know? But that's hard to overcome. That is very difficult to overcome for anybody new wanting to meet someone. You know, that's nigh on impossible that you can meet someone in a natural way if they're going to get smothered like that, you know. So I was able to watch what my mind, you know, it was a manifestation of what I think goes on. It's like almost seeing what goes on around the corner, if you know what I mean. So when I saw it, I know that's what they do all the time, you know, that kind of maneuver, you know, to make sure I don't bump into anyone, you know. So, you know, a lot of people always or sometimes think, you know, Mark, he ain't spoken to this person or people in a while, whatever. Do you know what? Can you imagine, if I just started talking to whomever they put in front of me? Who would I be speaking to right now? Yeah, I wouldn't be even have a chance of speaking to who it is I really want to speak to. They'd have me only speaking to their own people, getting served by their own people. I wouldn't be able to, speak to anybody else, and you guys would play along with it, you know? So, no, sometimes I'm not talking, man, because sometimes I'm giving also people like this an opportunity, you know. I am trying to control it, man, because or have as much control as I can, because at the end of the day, man, I've still got to look for this person. For all I know, there could be this female that could have been 2014. There's nothing bad you could tell me about this boy. 2015. You know what? I'm starting to like him. 2016, I'm starting to like him. 2017, do you know what? I love him. Do you know what? All my friends know I would deal with him. 2020, do you know what? I love him. I love, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And then I might be walking past her every day in the street. Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, do you know how long I've been waiting to meet you? But I couldn't tell you, and I can't even speak to you or tell you that I've been waiting to meet you. I can't wait. Do you know what I mean? I've got to give someone like that an opportunity to get up close by me. Do you know what I mean? Because it's funny, the females that like me, yeah, sometimes they're a little bit tentative. When the females that feel sort of upset or disrespected in a certain way, maybe because he said who he likes or whatever, and other females ain't respecting it, yeah, they move a lot better than females that actually probably like me. Females that like me, probably they're a bit more tentative because they're heart or whatever. When the girls that are actually angry move a lot the way I would like them to move sometimes, you know. So yeah, don't worry about if you don't see me talking. I'm ready to talk, man. But I feel like my destiny and the people that I meet has been abused and filtered and sort of played with, and it's always gonna feel sometimes synthetic, you know. I know by now, like in another life, like who I'd be meeting, I know what I can do like, as a person. Do you know what I mean? But what stops me in my tracks is when I know sometimes I feel like I'm meeting someone that I would never meet, or someone that I wouldn't want to pursue any kind of relationship with, you know, or whatever, just whatever, you know, just like, you know what I mean. I'm big on meeting, you know what I mean. Everyone likes to feel like it was destiny. He looked at me, I looked at her, whatever. Everyone likes to feel like that, but I don't think I'm ever gonna feel like that, you know. Sometimes. So yeah, like all I'm doing, man, I'm just giving like the right people and person to time to come around me. That's why sometimes I'm not out there looking on dating sites and all this sort of stuff, because I feel this aura like there's somebody like, or there's certain females that I would like, or maybe I know from before, that are just circling me. That's what I feel, and they're just like watching around, you know. So sometimes maybe I do need to come out of a video like this and just maybe say what I see from my angle, you know. But yeah, yeah, I gotta give an opportunity to a female like that was like, because that's quite deserving. If somebody's like been monitoring you and watching you for years, and you know got you in the heart, and you would have it back the same way. Do you know what I mean? You've got to give that person a chance, because then sometimes there's, do you know what I mean? There's these other like female, a lot of like sometimes undeserving females. They get the guy, or they say hoes are winning, or all this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just like there's these females, when it comes to like go and get the guy, like they always get there first. Do you know what I mean? When necessarily they don't deserve it, you know. But I'm trying to like just remain cool and just like see what happens, and you never know anyway. I could be getting ahead of myself, but like basically I just like want to give whomever a chance, you know, to get around me, because if I just accepted what these people were gonna do, like look what females I would have around me or whatever, do you know what I mean? So I'm all good, I feel nice in myself, but I just needed to mention those little instances because, do you know what I mean, psychologically they may try and stop you in a certain way, or block you, or make you feel unconfident when this is someone from my past, like you, although we've never dated, you're cool, yeah, right, and you and you and you that I see, like you can't tell, innit, yeah, like you, that would be good, you'd be surprised, right, from what I can see and what I can feel, yeah, right. But anyway, I didn't, yeah, no, yeah, but anyway, like I just wanted to get out again. Yeah, like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you need to get, yeah, there's a few psychological hurdles that people may try and do. You'll be alright, but I just had to let you know that, man, because the amount of times I've been put off of doing little things, yeah, and it's like, it's just people, innit, trying to gaslight your mind, innit, make you doubt yourself and this and that, and loiter around places that they're probably doing that when I'm in places, you know, and I don't even know, you know. So that's that. I wanted to send a big up out to the yeah, let me do it, man. I want to send a big up to the like the good looking women that have been around me. But I've been seeing like these women that like, you're stunning, yeah, but you're really good looking, no doubt, but we don't match, or you're not my type, but you're beautiful, and a man wouldn't say no, neither would I. But just maybe like, I use the easiest example, like, you know, I'm a short guy, so like I'm what, I think I'm 5'9", about 5'9", Yeah. So there are quite a few females that are 5'10", 11, 6 foot, 6'1". Yeah. Like in my mind's eye, like I'd always seen a female shorter than me, you know. But it doesn't mean anything at all. It doesn't mean anything. But it's just my ignorance and my mind and how I've seen things, you know. But because I remember, like, I used to have a friend, like, and he was dating this female. No, I won't go there with that. But yeah, you know, like sometimes you have female couples that are, you know, the female is sometimes taller and whatever. But you know, it doesn't mean anything. But that's just an example. But yeah, no, I've been seeing females that are like really good looking, but they're potentially not my type, and it's nothing to do with height either. Just like, you know, maybe they're too thick. They're too thick for me. You know what I mean? They need like a big 6'6" man or something. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. Girls like that. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Whatever innit? You got your like little thing, you know. But then you still wouldn't say. Do you know what I mean? You're still like, damn, she's thick. But do you know what I mean? Yeah, but yeah. But it's all about how you get on as well. But just, yeah, but I've appreciated, because I'm pretty sure you girls are like, well, I'm quite good looking, but we're not each other's sort of match. And you've been running up around me a lot. And I really, really appreciate it. You're worth your weight in gold. You're worth your weight in gold. So I want to send that big up. And I hope that come off all right. But, boy, if it didn't, it didn't, you know. These are hard things for me to talk about anyway, you know. But yeah, lastly, change the subject. You know, I wrote an essay and I mentioned the Vietnam War because we had to talk about different examples of. I forgot what the essay question was on now, right now. So I moved on, right? But yeah, basically, I just wanted to say, man. Anyone that's Vietnamese, anyone that's sort of southern Vietnamese, right? You are lucky to be here. You are lucky. Gee whiz, you are lucky. I was watching a documentary, like, because to me that was the last, like, you can't say real war, but like, you've got the Second World War, and then you've got that, if you know what I mean, is the biggest sort of atrocities, and also like, I don't know the dates and times. Obviously, like the Belgian Congo is pretty bad as well, but like that there was like, that was a Chinese backed, and America, like that was their proxy war throughout the Cold War years, right? And they fought it out on the land of Vietnam. And it's a bit like Poland in the Second World War, like that's where most of the battling was, you know. So like they took a lot of hits, man. A lot of damage. You could just be walking. I can imagine you could just be walking in the jungle, and an old bomb could just like blow your leg off, or just whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that's dangerous for kids playing and all that sort of stuff, right? But also like they were in a position where like the North was coming, and they were like, I didn't even need to ask anyway. I didn't even need, the document didn't tell me, but I know like they were getting armed by the Chinese and to a lesser extent the Russians. And then obviously it was like a wave. They were coming down from the north, right? But then you had the Americans that were in the south. And anytime you can imagine, like, you got a comrade and they die, yeah, and you're an American soldier and you're meant to be working with Southern Vietnamese, but it's Vietnamese that killed that person, they would have obviously like massacred the South Vietnamese too as well, because the paranoia would have sunk in. You know, paranoia would have sunk in, so they would have gone on spree after. Well, they did. They went on spree after spree after spree, like burning down people's homes, killing whole villages. And you got to be honest, like, man, they probably like raped the hell out of these women, and they're quite. Do you know what I mean? They would have done all type of atrocity. So can you imagine? Yeah, you've got like an army coming from the north, and when they were coming from the north, they were either killing or they had to re-educate you and put you in re-education camps. So you either had to get a re-education, or they would have killed you for anything. Any dissent, you would have been taken out. So they had that coming from the north, plus you could say the insurgent Americans that basically just wiping out towns, going town to town, killing people, right? Killing hundreds of people at a time. Yeah, and so much of it is probably undocumented, even though it's really well documented. Yeah, so you've got that in the south, and you've got the north coming. They were like, those people were in a vice. They were like, they couldn't go left, they couldn't go right, they couldn't go up, they couldn't go down. They were stuck, you know, stuck in this total disarray, total disbelief, and believing they're gone. Do you know what I mean? And so some of them got to go, and some of them had to stay, and they lived on, but you never would have thought it. So and the ones that did get to go to America, and then maybe go to France, maybe to Europe and Britain, of course, yeah. Like, you are lucky. Especially guys around my age. You are lucky. You are lucky to be here. Like, can't reiterate it enough. Like, from what I was watching, like, very, very, very lucky. Do you know what I mean? Because today's day and age, like, do you know what I mean? You know, they're worried about war crimes, and you've got the social media now that can report everything. So they just can't go and drop bomb after bomb after bomb. It has to be targeted. It has to be maybe not civilians, maybe not hospital. But back then, they just went and obliterated the whole thing. You know? And with the paranoia, and then also, well, it proved the point as well. The American deep down weren't really, they were there for interest. And when they saw the interest wasn't there, they left you, they left for dead. A little bit like what they done with Iraq in 91. You know what I mean? They went, they didn't finish the job, and they left the Shias in to deal with Saddam, and they had a hard time after that, you know, for obviously a little bit of an uprising, American backed, but they left, you know. But they came back in 2003. Anyway, that we know that, yeah. But yeah, no, I just wanted to say again, man. I was like, rah, like, to anyone I know, like, I was like, wow, is that what you went through? Because you were very, very, very lucky, man. Gee whiz. Anyone could have got then, you know. So, yeah. If you're from that background, yeah, you're very lucky, man. You're very lucky, man. Just, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I guess you probably already know this, but I just wanted to let you know I understand too, man. And yeah, I respect what you've been through now, you know what I mean? Because that's tough to go through, literally like a generation or two ago, you know? You know? If it would have been my people now, we'd be like protesting and everything and complaining, but you know, that's another story altogether, yeah. But yeah, this concludes this episode of ThreeTings. I hope this message reaches you well. Yeah, and just deliver this message straight to your heart, because it's from mine. I'm out. 1.